Hey there, sunshine. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am getting ready for a work event. As you can see, I've already done my hair. I left the room to get something. Just look at Tito's bottom. It just did such a cute little bounce, don't you think? So I'm starting today's makeup with my eyebrows. Sometimes I do it first, sometimes I don't. And I'm gonna draw a line where I want the bottom of my eyebrow to be. Just a line across and then filling in all the color. And then I move on to the left eye. Right, if you're watching on a screen, but it is in fact my left eye. If you saw my last video, I talked about how this eyebrow always gives me issues because of my lack of hair. So I just kept trying to get these to match until I realized that I had gone too far, and this was problem number one. My left eyebrow was so much darker than the right. And so it just became a back and forth, suddenly making my right eye dark as well. And then decided to do a King Kylie brow. So I got out my stiff angle brush and my white concealer, or very light concealer, and started to once again create that bottom line and then create the top line and pull all of the concealer away, trying to blend it into perfection. This process takes forever, so I usually don't do it, but it does help just create a shape that you want for your eyebrow, whether that's a little bit higher, shorter, taller, all the things. Concealer is how you do that. If, when you're doing this concealer part, you accidentally put concealer on the tail of your eyebrow, you can just pull out your eyebrow color and put more on top of the concealer. This brush doesn't blend very well, so I have to go in later with my sponge brush to fix that. At this point, I decided, you know what, it's fine, I will live with it, and put on some more concealer in those darker spots on my face. And then it's time for my crazy color corrector. So I whip out that orange one, countering the greens in your under eyes. Since this is an illusion, we're playing with colors, I'm only putting a little bit, trying to put it only on my eyelids and under eye, because those are the darker spots. And I'm using this fun brush by Rare Beauty, Selena Gomez's line, and she designed this brush to be like a fingertip. So I'm pressing it in on the flat side and kind of just dabbing it all around my face. I love this brush. It's honestly so amazing. They're not kidding when they say blending is like one of the most important steps of makeup, because this is me blending just the concealer, blending all the way from the bottom all the way to the top. Once that all looks decent enough, I decide that it is good to go for the next step. So I whip out my foundation and just start dabbing it all around my face, filling in all of the crazy colors, trying to like mute it out, like make it look like that's my skin. The side by side is honestly insane, but as I kept going, I just kept blending because that's all you can do at this point. And I'm blending it into my hairline, judge away, I don't care. I put my makeup in my hairline, make it all smooth. And once that's all blended in, it looks like one color, I realized that I look very, very orange. But that's okay because we have more makeup to do, right? So it's all gonna be okay. That's at least what we're telling ourselves this entire time. So I whip out my concealer again to further play with the colors on my face. Makeup really is women's war paint. Like, I'm putting on my makeup to face the day. It looks so silly sometimes, but it is honestly so therapeutic to do. Like most women, I have caffeine nearby at all times, so once I've taken enough sips of that to get me through the rest of my makeup routine, I start blending out the concealer that I have put on my face. This is mid-level contouring at its finest. I'm just blending in all of the light colors back where I want the light colors to be. And you think this is where I'm going to stop because you're like, oh, there's contour there. It's not contour, it's just my foundation. So obviously I needed to put more contour on my face. And, you know, it was going well. It was going real well. And I started to think I looked like a little deer. I mean, look at this. Once I do this under nose part to make it perk up, it just looks so stinking cute. But of course I messed up, and there's way too much under my lip. Still looked really cute, but I wasn't trying to be a doe today. So I just started to blend it out because that's all I could do at this point. And once I was blending it out, I realized, you know, my smile bottom lip looked really long as I was contouring through my cheek, but it is what it is, and we just have to keep going at this point. Don't be scared to do your makeup because every time you do your makeup, you will learn something new. That's why we have these 3-hour makeup times for big special events, because we know what we can and cannot do when we're doing our makeup for a big event versus every day like this. This is learning, this is experimenting, this is supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to make you feel confident and just ready to seize the day. Like I said, it is your war paint. And today, my war paint needed to be a little bit cuter in the nose. So I'm bringing the white eyeliner back in, or white concealer back in, to just tighten up that nose. You can really tell how big my bottom lip looks here, but whatever. We're going to move on to setting spray. And of course, since nothing went right, I had already sprayed that down before I realized I did not put on blush. But this is not where I realized that. So I went in with my bronzer and my big fluffy brush that I love. This is like my base for all the makeup I ever do with eyeshadow. So I'm using the bronzer as the eyeshadow and just putting it in that upper corner of my eyelid, creating contrast, creating shadows, making all my features just really pop. I'm also using the same big fluffy brush to kind of create some darker eyeshadow lines on the bottom of my eyelids. Then I found the blush in the bottom of my bag, so I started by dabbing that on and then realized I put it into 2 completely different spots on my face, so I doubled up and just tapped that in, trying to make it work, because now I have committed to a very blushy face today. And that means I'm putting it everywhere. I'm putting it on my forehead. I'm putting it across my nose. I decided even to put it across my eyelids because we're looking sun-kissed. It's almost summer. I'm getting excited. I'm going to pretend like I'm already in the sun. I thought my base looked good enough at this point that I was ready to set it with powder. I start by just setting the under parts of my eyes. I'm not sure why I still do this at this point, but it's in my routine and I apparently can't stop. So it's going on my under eyes and I'm waiting for that to set in. To finish my eye look, I am just using a shimmery eyeshadow that I have in a Lancome palette. And I am going to just use my finger to dab that onto my eyelid. Give it some color. Let it do its thing. Let her shimmer and shine. But for real, I feel like the only way you can put on shimmer eyeshadow and let it really pop without using like a primer is with your finger. Now, the beast that is eyeliner, I really thought this was going to be easy. I wanted to do a little wing because it's a little event, just practicing. Well, hopefully practice makes perfect, because this is definitely not perfect. And this eye came along. I was like, okay, I can build a little bit up on this side to kind of match the other one. Well, no, that did not work. So we just fight back and forth, left and right, one after the other, and one after the other. Something went wrong and something had to be fixed, and then something went wrong again. So as you watch this, you'll see that my left eye has eyeliner way too high on it, and I consistently just keep trying to make that line so much longer and lifted because they never are at the same angle. I need a pro tip for that. Looking at it from a different angle with this makeup palette does help me a ton. I feel like I just need something so that I can do it consistently at the right angle. This nod of acceptance, it's not a nod that I did this well or that it's good enough. It's that's where we're at. We're at the stage where now I have to get out the Q-tip and I have to try to clean it up. So here's Q-tip use number 1. And then it started to get real thick and real chunky on the end, but I had to fill in that corner. So here's Q-tip use number 2. And then I went real crazy and my line got so much longer. Yay, we're having a great time. But of course that means we can't stop now, so I get the Q-tip out for use number 3. At this point, I basically took the entire wing off to try to start over. I thought the top of my eyeliner looked really good. I just needed that wing to be cohesive and try to match the other one as much as possible. That just meant trying to now make this one longer again. So very carefully, hopefully with a steadier hand, because it's my, quote, good side, I get them to match just well enough, but I messed up again, and if you're counting, and I am, that's 4. So I grab the eyeliner one last time, to try and just save this as much as possible before accepting and moving on. They definitely do not match, but I don't think it turned out too bad, so it is what it is. The makeup's already been washed off my face. It'll just live on the internet forever. Since I'm obviously running late at this point, it is time to brush off the powder and blend it into the rest of my face. And I did end up going in with even more blush at the end just to make everything look great. And then I did my eyelashes. I hope you just enjoy this as eyelash ASMR. I did get it all over the place on my bottom lashes, but the top lashes were therapeutic. The top lashes I've been doing all my life. I know what I do. I know how I move my hand. You just have to practice this one. I don't have any tips for you here. My mom is a dental hygienist, and she said you just have to find the toothbrush that works for you, and I feel like that's the same thing with mascara. You find the one you like to use, the one that's easy to use. If you need a curved brush, I love a curved brush. If you need a thicker brush with more bristles or one with little skinny bristles, whatever your needs are, play around with your needs because mascaras are designed with you in mind. Hopefully you're realizing that mistakes are okay, and I am perfectly okay with this chunky bottom lash situation. So with that, I'm moving on to lipstick, putting on a base color before putting on a separate pink lip gloss, bringing out different colors and playing with the highlights on my lips. Finally done with my makeup. I try to fix my bangs how I want them, but they're doing their things, and that's fine. So I go and pick out an outfit. Look at that transition. So proud of myself for doing one. And I picked out some jewelry to go on top. This is just a little double necklace. I ended up picking a different pair of earrings than this in the end, but look at this weird vein. It was just so blue in the lighting. Anyways, I ended up wearing these maroon Kendra Scott earrings to go with the fit. I liked this tweed jacket, but it just wasn't giving, so I put on this other one that clearly is. I just absolutely love this jacket. It is so perfect for spring and all the spring things. All right, babes, keep spreading smiles and stay fabulous. Love y'all. See you in the next video.